Okay, my friends, so here's where we got 10 artists with 10 songs each. So more realistic, right? You've got more than just three artists and multiple songs from each. So we're going to take all 100 of these songs, stick them into a playlist, and shuffle them. So it's a little bit of a Technicolor vomit thing to look at, but what I've got is I've got Excel keeping track of the same thing it was doing with that little tiny list of 8 songs. It's keeping track of the longest run. So right now, it's a little hard to see, but the longest run of 3, and I'm reading this as left to right and up to down, kind of like you would read a book. So, red song, gray song, purple song. The longest run of 3 is happening down there. Maybe it's happening somewhere else too. That's the one that jumped out at me. Let's take a look at the next one. That one's also got a longest run of 3. Looks like it happens right there. Also happens right there. Okay. This one's longest run is again 3. Do I see it? Purple looks like a long run of 3. That one's got a longest run of 2. There's probably a bunch of those in there. Yeah, I see a gray one. I see a green one. Okay. So this is great. But what we're going to do is we're just going to let it run. So I'm going to hold down the F9 button and let this thing generate a whole bunch of randomizations, and it's kind of fun to kind of watch it go. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. What we're going to do is we're going to show you how to take an average of this chart. On average, what's the longest run if you have 10 artists with 10 songs each? Okay, so I'm going to just go type the word average down here. Okay, beautiful. Now, in class, we did this. It's been a couple weeks since we did this because we've been in financial math for so long. But this is actually a weighted average. You have to count each of these data points this many times before adding them up. So technically speaking, we'd have to, well, there are no ones, so we can ignore that. We'd have to add 2 684 times. We'd have to add 3 616 times, 4 62 times. Well, the problem with doing that, with adding, is we'd be doing it a long time. So what we ended up doing in class was we multiplied each of these by this. Well, I'm going to teach you a new command today in Excel, and you're going to do this again in Sheets in the next question after, I guess in question 6, after I show you how to do it here for question 5. We're going to use something called the sum product command. Sum product. What this literally does is it adds up a bunch of products, and the products are going to be in the columns that you select. So that's what I'm doing right here. What that command right there does is literally 1 times 0 plus 2 times 684 plus 3 times 616 plus 4 times 62, blah, 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 all the way down. And then we're just going to divide that by how many times we did the experiment. And that gives us an average of about 2.55. We don't need that many decimals, I don't think. Let's go to 2.6. That's probably pretty good. Now, if I keep re-randomizing, oh, look, it's changing a little tiny bit. It's going between 2.5 and 2.6. Looks like it's fighting. Maybe it's hovering around 2.5. And actually, if you look at the data, that actually makes sense. Look at the 2s and the 3s. They're almost fighting with each other, and they're almost the same number of 2s and 3s. So I like 2.5 as an average. It's probably a little bit closer to 2.6 than 2.5, but as far as a good average, on average, we're getting 2.5 as the average longest run. So somewhere between 2 and 3 songs grouped in a row, which, if you remember the article, people were complaining about that. We're getting too many songs in a row by the same artist. Well, I mean, if it's a truly random shuffle, you should be. Okay, so this just showed you how to, and I'm going to highlight back in this cell again. This just showed you how to find a weighted average for a group of data. Now, what you're going to do is do question number 5, which is basically just tell me what the average is of this data. And then I'm going to have you watch one more video for this set of questions where we go even further with a different, more realistic playlist. Okay, do number 5 now.